Hey guys, it's me, Levon, Loaded Operator 7, and today we are doing something a little different. This is my log dog or log sawhorse or log horse. What it is two pallets that are back to back. And a lot of people have done this on the internet, and they've either mixed these fingers in together so that it's basically four going that way, and then they intermix the others going that way, and it becomes the same concept. You get like an X, and you put your logs in the middle. But what I did was, instead of having the pallets facing the flat side each other, I had the back sides so that those are the bottoms that are facing it. You can see it better if I stand here, I guess. So that's a pallet. That's the side that's being used in the pallet. On that side, that's the good side. And then on that side, that's the good side too. And like I say, I see people do it on the internet, and this isn't the first time I've seen this thing done, but I was like, you know what? I could totally use those ridges, and I do. And I mean, I put the wood, stack all my wood in there so that it's just much easier to throw it up there and then cut it to length. This is my length bar too, by the way. I'm sure you already figured that out, but so log sits there, I pull it, touches that, boom, cut it to length. That's my marking. And those are my 16-inch logs that fall into my wheelbarrow, which is normally parked right here, but it's back there because I'm done for today. But it's pretty cool, huh? See, take them, you just literally put them on top, slide them forward, and then this is my little strap thing, but I'm not finished with it yet. I'm not happy with the way it's designed. So it's got that, and then it bungees to a foot pedal over here that I'm going to have. But I need a better system, so I'm thinking of actually having an arm. Maybe I'll have a string from the top with a bungee on it, just so it keeps the arm up, and then when I step on the pedal, it'll pull it down. Something a little more rigid to hold it, because that strap is a little bit slacky when it gets to the end. But when you got full logs on here and you're cutting it, you really don't need the strap. It's just when you get to the last pieces that, actually the last piece, that you need to hold it down so when you cut this one, it doesn't fall over. But that's, still a lot faster than doing it on the floor and picking them up. And I mean, I filled up 2 wheelbarrows in 20 minutes nonstop, just battling it out with these guys. Man, I tell you what, as much as I love that steel, it's a beast to handle. And unless I'm working with wood that is, 30 inches plus in size, I mean, just look at the size of that thing. I mean, it weighs quite a bit, man. It's not, at first I was like, oh yeah, I got a heavy duty superstar. And then I was like, hell no, I'm not dragging that thing down there. Not happening. Give me my little husky, man. So my little Husqvarna is my go-to guy, man. I love that little thing. I still do. But this is the difference between professional saws and the ones that you buy at Home Depot, and basically anything that's less than $500 is like a home user saw is what I would recommend, what I would call it, I guess. And I mean, these are like, sorry about my mouth. Actually, I cleaned up, guys. Look at that. Put all my feed barrels on that side. It's all lumber, by the way. I got it for 70% off, just because it's missing a little this, a little that on the edge. But I don't give a shoot. If it's in the wall, who cares? I'm actually going to build a nice, like a pergola type thingy. Anyway, so look at all my feed. These two, boom, boom, are my food. Those are my green ones are my specialty, like they're 3-grain scratch and all that goodies for the winter. Like I give them non-GMO corn, at least not my layers. My turkeys get non-GMO corn because it warms them up and they're a lot bigger. Their bodies are much bigger. And then the last two black barrels are my hay. And then, yeah, like I said, I tried tidying up a bit, and I got somewhere. And then, yep, there's all my stuff right there. I'm just a hoarder when it comes to wood, man. I just can't throw the stuff. Well, based on the frickin' prices that they're at now, I'm not gonna throw the stuff away. And I mean, I just use little pieces here and there for my chicken coops if I need something, versus cutting it off a $8 2x4. Jesus Christ. $8. So yeah, these I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, maybe I'll bring them out. So like these little guys, and I'm not saying anything bad about this saw. I like this little saw. This is my little home light. This guy, I love this little guy. And but again, this is what you would find at Home Depot and Lowe's. And I got another one in here. It's dark. It's the 33cc version of that. And it's a piece of crap. I never liked that one. It was the Ranger. It's also, I think, Home Light. But those guys are $99, $100. Those guys, you know, you're gonna spend less than $500 on those saws. And I'll tell you what, I don't know about the Husky, but based on its performance, man, that's a 50cc saw. It might be one of the home, you know, ones that you'd find at your local stores. But this is the difference, though. It's got a decompression switch on it right here. You got to push this switch or else it's not even going to turn over. Push that in or else your piston's just going to lock up. And most of the saws that you buy will not have that. And the other thing is it doesn't have that little stupid thumb rubber ball that you have to prime your primer with, which is all 9 times out of 10 that thing cracks and starts pissing gas out, or it's got a very small crack and you don't even notice it and it starts sucking air into it and it just throws your saw off and it's just you just want to throw the piece of crap away. But you're not going to have any of that. This also has a decompression right here on top. You hit that decompression guy, you put this guy on start, and you pull this. This has got a nice soft recoil handle. I think this one has it too, but I just notice it much more on the big guy. I love the saw. It's just, if I got small stuff to work with like this, I'm not lugging that thing around. It's just not happening. And I'm telling you, because I had to do it today when I got out to the field, my Husky, I see how it's got this little tattle. The damn rope broke, so I had to bring it back here, open this part up, pull a little excess on through it. So it actually, I could have still done it in-field repair, but I was losing daylight. So I just wanted to get stuff cut, loaded, and up here where I have my little workshop, and I can cut it up comfortably on this instead of being in the dock all the way into down to there in the acres and stuff. But that's the thing. And these saws will always start. I don't give a damn if you got urine in them. They will start. Those sons of guns, I've thrown them away and been like, screw you, like this one. Oh my God, I didn't even show you this one. I got a stupid Craftsman piece of hunk of crap. That thing right there, lying on the side. That thing blew its own piston out. I mean, the spark plug, the threads and all that just blew the whole thing out. So you can't even really do anything with it. Cheap, that's what it is. So I'm going to take the bar off of that thing as well. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it and throw it in the recycling bin. But these guys are real chainsaws, and you're going to spend a pretty penny on them. And it's going to be worth it, because when you're down in the muck and you're about half a mile away from your truck, that actually rhymed, and the damn thing doesn't start on you, or this happens or that happens, and you can't repair it in field, you're going to be one pissed off person, I can tell you right now. So spend a little money, get yourself a nice saw, and you'll absolutely understand the difference between this and the garbage you find at Home Depot. That little Husky has been through 4 years of cutting up all my seasoned firewoods. That guy's the Magnum in the back is a gift, a new one. So I think I told you guys in my previous video, I was going to buy it from one of my logger neighbors, and the guy ended up running into my mailbox. And nothing happened to my mailbox, but his car got tore up. But his insurance contacted me like, oh, we're going to take care of your mailbox. And I said, absolutely not. I don't want a penny from you. Do not charge the man $1 for a mailbox. I got 3 more in my carport, so I don't need another mailbox. I could strap it on. Nothing happened to my mailbox. It was just the bolts that were holding it on place on its pedestal, and I just bolted it back into place, and that's it. So I told the insurance, screw you. Don't charge the guy another $1 more than you have to. And they even called me back to confirm whether that's what I had said. And I said, yes, I don't want you to charge the guy anything. There's nothing wrong with my mailbox. And he said, okay. And with that, the guy, he just gave me that steel saw. So, really nice neighbor, really nice guy. So that thing is a beast, like I'm telling you. That's 77 cc's of hold on to your dang pants. And it's got a brand new chain on it, too. So it's biting like brand new, I tell you. That thing cut like butter. So chains are, of course, double the price of whatever you're going to. The small little chains are not very expensive, $20-25. And that chain was about $45-50. That's just a chain. So But yeah, I'm really getting good at hand sharpening these things via file, man, round file, and I'm really proud of myself because I've watched all the videos, but now I actually know what they're saying. When you get the feel for it, it's just totally different, man. And now every time I finish cutting, I sharpen the Husky. That's what I worked with today mainly. That guy's got a brand new chain, don't even need to be sharpened, but I don't want to go over it unless I hit rocks or it starts dulling or it starts, then I'll go through it and I'll start sharpening it up. But yeah, so before I keep going banter, I got some really cool things that I've been meaning to show you guys, but I've been really caught up, man. I got I got a nice log hook that I got to mount to the back of my tractor. And then I got a bunch of stuff in the mail. It's either that person that's been sending me some really nice stuff in the mail, or I don't know, it's one of my YouTubers. Because it's like I mentioned something and it's in the mail the next day. This is just unbelievable. Thank you, whoever you are. Anyway, so you want a real saw? You're gonna spend about $1,000. I'm telling you right now. Not the Husky. The Husky I got for free when I bought the house. It came with the house. But that Magnum back there, if you're looking at a brand new chainsaw, you're looking at about $1,000. Bar, chain, machine, the whole shemango. I was going to get a 90cc Husky, and the guy was really happy to sell me on it. And then I talked to my logger friend, the guy from the X-Men show, Mike Peel, and he's like, dude, we don't work with anything that big. He goes, 70cc's is the biggest you're going to work with. And lucky for me, that's the logger saw that I got, 77cc. Any questions or comments, guys? Leave them below. It's my Magnum. It's a beast, man. But that guy is a lot easier to work with than that guy. And you can just totally see why. Look how fat that thing is versus that. So, questions or comments, guys? Leave them below. This guy was really easy to build. Just get a couple of heavy-duty hinges. Hinge them on the inside. And flip it around. And you got yourself a nice log horse. I'm done for today. Put away my machines and go shower and relax. Talk to you guys later. Any questions or comments, leave them below. And once again, it looks like a mess, but it's semi-organized. At least all my stuff is where it belongs and it's closed up. But yeah, I like the floor the way it is. I'm going to leave the sawdust on the floor so I can just back my car in here or whatever. That's natural ground. All right, bye. Questions or comments, leave them below. Talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.